Hi all, hope you all doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about why HTTPS matters. Okay, what is HTTP? I hope everybody is familiar with this protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is a protocol that we commonly use for our web communications. Basically, in this protocol, we don't have any encryption, which means whatever we send from our browser to the web server gonna be transfer as plain text. This is why this is we call this HTTP is not secure, and then anyone in the network can read our data because there is no any encryption. Okay, then how HTTP becomes HTTPS? So for the HTTP protocol, when we add a layer of encryption, then it becomes HTTPS. So what happens basically, browser and the server establish a secure channel. All the data in between browser and server will be encrypted, and then attackers can't read our plain text or plain traffic. That's why it's recommended to always use HTTPS instead of HTTP. Okay, so what is SSL? You may heard about people talking about SSL certificate and all, but what is it actually? SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. SSL is the very first technology that they use to encrypt HTTP traffic, but we no longer use it because there are several vulnerabilities. Here are some examples like Poodle, Beast, and all. If you're interested and if you're curious, you can find more about these vulnerabilities. But just keep in mind, we don't use this anymore because of vulnerabilities. Okay. And since we don't use SSL, what we gonna use for encrypt our HTTP traffic? That's TLS, stands for Transport Layer Security. This replaced the SSL. Current versions of TLS are 1.2 and 1.3. So this is widely used nowadays. If someone talks about like HTTPS, they actually means HTTP or TLS. Sometimes people might call this SSL2 because, however, whatever they call TLS or SSL, they mean TLS because this is what we use in our newer browsers. Okay, so let's see HTTPS and HTTP in action. What's the difference and how attackers can steal our credentials if we use HTTP traffic?
Okay, here you can see I got small demo login application, login form, and then I'm running my Wireshark also for my loopback interface. So let's see when I login what we can capture when we are using HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, so what I do, I just type test for username and test for password, and then I click login. As soon as I login, here you can see all of my traffic which are coming to my interface are visible. So here, like this first packet, it's HTTP packet, and then you can see source and destination. In this you can see whole, like every layer in this packet, and in HTTP, I mean in, you can see it's HTTP, and then HTTP type, post, and then URL and all. In here, if I go to the, like if I scroll down here, you can see HTML form URL encoded, and you can see our username and password. This is what happens when you use HTTP, not HTTPS. When you use HTTP, since it's not encrypted, anyone can capture your traffic and then they can see your credentials. Okay, I'll do same with another website, same website, but only the difference is here I'm using an own science certificate. Here you can see I'm using on my SSL certificate. So now this will encrypt all my traffic which are going through this browser to my server. Okay, so I'll type test, and then password also test. Then when I log in, I forgot to capture. Okay, when I click login, here you can see we don't see any HTTP protocols, But if you look closely, you can see some TLS protocols and something going on. Here you can see client hello and then serve hello. So these things are the handshake or else some procedure that we call happening between my website and the browser. So if I just go through here in TLS, here you can see encrypted application data. But in HTTP these were clearly visible, but when we use TLS you can see all the data is encrypted. This is why we called HTTPS secured, and this is why everybody is encouraged to use HTTPS instead of HTTP.
That's the end of our video. I hope you learned something. So always remember, whenever you use a website or a web app or whatever, use HTTPS, not HTTP. For more security related content, subscribe.